tuned in now, lock it in tight. Two voices up, all gas tonight. Terry Tangent, Vicious Vic, turn the dial, hit the switch. You're listening to Tangent Central. You're listening to Tangent Central with Terry Tangent and Vicious Vic. Tangent Central. Tangent Central. On Tech
And here we go again, another fabulous week, busy week.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of stuff going on. Terry Tangent here with my brother from another mother, Vic. How are you doing today?
Oh, man, I'm doing good. I mean, if I'd be doing any better, I probably couldn't stand myself.
Well, you know, could be worse, I suppose.
Yeah.
So before we get into the hot topic for the week, there's some stuff that I was seeing on the news yesterday. Apparently they're getting ready to do something with the beef prices. Have you seen that?
I think when I was flipping, I seen that.
So a lot of it is going to be, from my understanding of it, a lot of it is going to be imported from different countries. England was a big one that I saw on there. And then that kicked off a whole trade war with Canada.
Yeah, I did see that.
So the tariffs that we've been charging all these countries, it sounds like, are getting ready to change again for everybody except Canada, because, well, they don't want to play ball with Donnie, it sounds like.
That's exactly what it sounds like. That's pretty much what that guy said.
Yeah. So my question to you, because I know what I'm going to do with it, but my question to you, so when you go to the grocery store, whenever this starts, are you going to dig through the meat and find the ones that have the USDA stamp on the package, or are you just going to grab what you grab and go for it?
Look, I'm going to grab what I grab. I mean, of course, somebody will say, oh, no, you need to get U.S. products. Blah, 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 blah. Look, when I go to the store, I hate going to the store anyway. I'm going to grab whatever's there, whatever's available. I mean, what's it going to say? Is it going to be stamped from England? Is it going to be stamped from here? Is it going to be stamped from there? The hamburger now is not even stamped from the USA. It just says USDA. I mean, and half the time it's not on there. It just says pure ground beef with that's 50-50, ground beef that's 70-30, or it just says Angus ground beef. It don't say USA, it don't say Canada, it don't say nothing.
I think a lot of people are a little bit confused with the USDA stamp. That just means it's been cleared by the USDA, and then it's actual meat.
Yeah, well,
it's not guaranteeing you it's coming from the United States. I mean, there's a ton of meat now, like at Walmart. If you look in the Walmart meat section, a lot of that's from Mexico.
Uh-huh.
And it's stamped on it USDA, but if you actually look at the label, it says procured from Mexico, or however it reads. But so
what are you going to do?
Me, I'm finding the good stuff. I'm looking for the USDA stamp, and I'm looking for the made in America, what found in America, whatever the heck it says, because, and this was kind of what I was leading up to. So let's just say you grab a pack of beef sausage or beef hot dogs, right? Or at least that's what you think it is.
Yeah.
So you get home and you look at it and it says from India, Pakistan, Uzbekistan, wherever the hell it's from. And you open it up and it ain't nothing but beef wieners. Then what are you going to do?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not really a hot dog person. I'm a sausage person. I love my Johnsonville salt. But yeah, I see what you're saying. It can be the same. It may have the Johnsonville label on it, but it could be from Pakistan or somewhere else. See, now you got me thinking. I hate going to the store having to read. Jeez.
See?
Okay. Touche.
It's funny because I already know I am going to be living in your head rent free every time you go buy meat now.
Oh, you guarantee it. Yeah. You're already there. You didn't put your big screen TV there. You got your game system there. When I go to Walmart, it's going to say, so Vic, when do you pick it up? You better look at the back.
What'd you get today?
Well, you better look at it. You better read the back. Then I'll be like, damn you, Terry. Quit. Get out of my hand. But you're right. I mean, I hate reading when I go to the store. I just want to go in, grab, and get out. But now you done got me thinking. I'm like, and which we should, because look what happened with the lettuce. People were getting sick off lettuce, and I'm sitting there going, and I had a bag of that lettuce in the refrigerator. It went out. It went out. So, I mean, when you're dealing with meat, yeah, I'm going to have to go with the U.S. If it's stamped USA, I'm going to have to do it because, like I said, you don't know what these other countries is doing to the meat to sell to us. It's their way of getting back at us. I mean, I know that's a conspiracy, but you don't know what these other countries are doing.
No,
you don't know how their processing plants is. I mean, so yeah, you're gonna be in my head rent free, but in all actuality, you're 100% right.
We have enough problems here in this country with our food and knowing where it's actually coming from and what's in it, with all the modified meats
additives,
and all that stuff. That's just one more thing for you to think about. Not necessarily worry about it because you're going to eat it.
Yeah,
but it's we're starting to get into uncharted waters with everything that's going on, and I was just curious as to your take on how that was going to play out in the Vicious Vic household.
Yeah, well, no, after you brought it up like that, yeah, I'm going to be paying close attention to my hamburger, to my kielbasa's, and all of that.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and I don't want to fly down the politic hole all the way, but I am really interested to see the next presidential election, and how that election goes, A, and B, the reaction of the rest of the world, what it will be like, and what exactly is going to change afterwards. Are we going to stay on, the hard nose? We are the best country, and you're going to do what we do or what we tell you to do because we give money to just about every country in this world and take very little in. I'm just curious to see how that's going to play out with the rest of the world. Those dirty, stinking Iranians have already said they're not going to negotiate with anybody until Trump's out of office. My hope is that, and I didn't want to go down here, but here we go. Time for a tangent. My hope is that either JD Vance or Marco Rubio run and secure that position next time around.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're going to have somebody that is going to be willing to fight for America. JD Vance, I believe he would be the one. But down where I live at, everybody's saying that Bashir's throwing his hat into the race. I mean, he did some stuff as governor that was like, what are you doing? I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's presidential material or not.
I think no matter which way it goes, I think it's going to be, if a Republican secures the presidency again, it's going to be a little bit softer of a political agenda, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to have the cojones to do what President Trump's done.
Oh no.
But I don't think
care.
it's, yeah, right. I don't think it's going to be a complete roll over and wag your tail kind of thing. I think it will be strong, just not as strong.
Yeah.
And then if we elect a Democrat president, I don't know what would happen, because the names that I've heard, just guessing so far, I honest to God believe it'll be a complete S show, and I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see, but it's something to think about. And everybody listen, make sure no matter which way you vote, go out and register to vote.
Yes.
And vote.
Yes. Because you're the only one that can make change. If you don't vote, you can't complain about what's going on. That was always one of the things my uncle said. He said, boy, they can take a lot of things away from you, but they can't take away the right to vote.
That's right.
And that's true. I mean, they can take your car, they can take your house, they can do whatever, but they cannot take your right to vote. So yeah, get out there and vote. Whether you like the guy or whether you don't like the guy, vote.
That's the one thing that we've got that allows us to be semi part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people, these last two elections have been talking about the the way the votes and whatnot are through the college are delegated, and are they truly following the will of the people in that particular state. So I think we need to keep a close eye on that. And those folks, I'm not exactly sure how they get appointed to that, but that's something we can look at later. But you need to make sure that whoever's appointed in your state is actually going by the will of the people.
Yeah.
California almost always, as far as I can remember, has always been a blue state. If all of a sudden California turned red, well, that would tell you something's goofy, something's going on.
Oh yeah.
And that's the kind of thing, you watch the polls come in on election night, and it'll show, 48% for this guy, 46% for that guy, and then the little 13% or whatever to the independents running. And then all of a sudden that state declares the 42% guy the winner.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that happens, but
I've never
something
understood how that happened. I mean, the electoral college. I'm like, what happened to the man who got the most votes won? But you got the electoral college. Then you got the most popular vote. Look, this is not Dancing with the Stars. This ain't America's Got Talent. This is not any game show where, we're going to give it to him because he's most popular. No, we're talking about the United States of America, and we need a president that's going to represent the United States of America, represent the people. I mean, like I said, I just, I hear this all the time. Well, I voted this way because I didn't want to vote the other way. Well, that's stupid.
right.
Then you put the wrong person in. Then you put the wrong person in there. Then you're complaining. I wish I'd have never voted for him. Bah, 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 bah. You had the choice. You said that you didn't want to vote for this other person, so you voted here. And now you're complaining because I should have went the other way. You should have listened to yourself. You should have went the way that your mind and your heart told you. Vote for this person.
Yeah.
So you ain't got a dog to fight.
The folks that say, I just got to vote for the lesser of two evils.
I mean, I'm guilty of that. I've been guilty of that. But then it's like, it's that age-old saying, do I vote for the devil that I know, or do I vote for the devil that I don't know? And sometimes you vote for the devil that you know, and then you're like, what was I thinking?
Right. It's and I've always done it, and I'm sure you have too.
Everybody's done it.
But when it comes down to the time to go cast that vote and make your vote, I have always, all right, so this guy wants this, and let's just say the Republican wants X, and then you look at the Democrat side and they want Y. Well, which one makes more sense to me? Which one is the better option for, and you got to look at it two ways, for yourself,
yep,
and for the nation as a whole.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So cheap oil prices. Well, that would be something. Yeah, that's great. I'm 100% behind it. But when they put that up against a stronger military, well, now which way do you go?
Yeah.
So it's, to me, it's you have to decide not only for your best interest, but what's truly in the best interest of the country and the nation. And I think that's where if a lot of these folks who are hardcore left, even hardcore right, if they would just think about that for a minute, I would be willing to bet quite a few would kind of change their outlook on things. I know people who go into the voting booth and they stamp that one that says straight Democrat ticket or straight Republican ticket. That to me makes no sense, because I can tell you, I generally vote, honest to God, I generally vote Republican. But every election that I vote in, there are some Democrats that I choose.
Yep.
Because they have a good platform, they have a good base as to what they intend to do, what they want to try to do. There is nobody anywhere who can tell me that punching that straight ticket is what's best for this country.
Oh, exactly. Oh, I'm just like you. I vote. My family is diehard Democrat, But if there's Republicans on the other side that I like their platform, I'll do a split ticket. I vote for my Democrats that's got a good platform, and then I got that platform where I got good Republicans on. I mean, yeah, I've never voted straight. Never.
And that's to me, that is the most intelligent thing a person can do. Weigh all those options. Don't die by that party line, because that is not healthy for this country.
The country. No.
I can't remember, as long as I've been voting, to where my ballot was a straight ticket, because I go through every line. I don't just hit I cannot remember one time where I didn't have a bipartisan ticket.
Oh, yeah. And hell, there may be an independent on there that's running that you liked what he said or she said. Vote for that person. They may not win it, but at least you're like, oh, I'm gonna give this person a chance because I like the platform that they were on and what they represented and what they said.
That's that's kind of one of the sour topics with me, is because you've got the guy running as an independent, and then it never fails. Every time you hear it, you always hear, oh, well, they're just diluting the actual vote, because there's no way they're going to get enough votes to do anything. And then, while that's taking votes away from the Republican, or that's taking votes away from the Democrat. Well, folks, we are at a point now to where that independent may be the best choice.
Exactly.
And I get so aggravated when I hear people say, oh, he's running independent. All he's going to do is dilute the voting pool, and it's going to swing one way or the other because of that. Well, what if it didn't? What if,
exactly.
What if it carried that vote? I don't know. It's just, to me, people come up with an excuse every time their party didn't win.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole this week, but we've seen it over the last 8 years. The way that it goes when who you want to win doesn't win, or vice versa. And I don't know. It's not good. It's not good for our country. And it is our country. It's not their country. It's our country.
Exactly. Here's something else. And, we talk about this at the gym. I know in our lifetime we would never see it, but maybe our grandkids may see it. What happened? When are we going to get an everyday Joe that has got his head straight, that pays attention to what's going on into the world, and he puts his name on the ballot and he runs like Joe the plumber or Billy the carpenter? Working class men. We get guys, and like I said, we talk about this all the time. We get guys that probably has never had calluses on their hands. But they can go to these places where the blue collar man is sweating. He's got cold burns around his face. And he says, I'm for you, my brother, my friend. All I need is your vote, and blah, 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 blah. But then when you ask him the serious questions, he's like, well, when I get back to my office, I'm going to check that out. You bit more know than a man on the moon that guy is not. He's like, I don't care about that guy. When are we going to get to the point to where, like I said, Joe the plumber, Billy Bob the carpenter, or hell, even a mechanic that is in tune with what's going on in the world today? Even us, I mean, when are guys like like Terry or a guy like Vic is going to go up and say, look, I'm for the lower class guy. You know, I've sat there and I've watched them struggle. I've sat there and watched senior citizens having to decide whether are they going to pay for the Medicare or are they going to eat. That's bull crap. I don't care what anybody says. That's bull crap. And
Yep.
then for the other class, they're out there working their
Years
fingers to
ago,
the bone,
when
and interest rates
I was
go
up
up,
in the
but your paycheck does not reflect the cost of living.
no,
I mean, you know, that's what, like I said, we may never see it, but just one day, I hope our grandchildren, our children will will sit there and a regular person, not a lawyer, not, you know, I ain't got nothing against veterans. I don't let me say that. I respect the veterans because they did something that I couldn't do. You defended our country. But let's get somebody that's in tune with what's going on in the world today. I mean, you get lawyers, you get a lawyer's assistant, or you get somebody that's friend of a 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 friend, and they got this. Well, here's my stance on this. I mean, or you're married into the family. That somebody that's a politician. So you kind of weasel yourself into that position. You know, I'm sick of it. I want to see an everyday man shake up the system.
yep, and that's what, honestly, that's what needs to happen, because we're so far down the rat race tunnel.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, it seems everybody knows what's better for the next guy
Yeah.
than that person. Years ago, when I was up north part of the county, a dear friend of mine was a politician, and he was a county councilman, and all kinds of. He was a politician. He owned a business up there, and I did some work for him, and it got to be the year before elections, and I said, you know, Bob, I said, I think I may just throw my hat in this time. You know, because I'm interested in it, and I want to do things for this county. And it was a county level election.
Yeah.
And Bob said, hey, great, you know, we'd love to have you be a part of our party. And I said, well, how do you know you want me to be a part of your party already? You don't know what my beliefs are, what I'm thinking. And he says, oh, well, you'd almost have to go with our party, because we're the party that always wins here.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, okay. I said, well, we'll see about that. We'll see what we do. You know, and a couple of days went by, and whatnot, and I had done some talking to some other people, and I went up to the county courthouse, which is where you pick up your papers and all that stuff you got to fill out. And I was sitting at my desk at his shop where I was working at, and I was filling that stuff. You know, I was filling the papers out and everything. And he said, hey, he said, I need to talk to you a minute. I said, okay. And he says to me, he says, you know, you're going to have to kind of stifle some of your comments sometimes and not be so. And I said, what? And he said, yeah. He said, you can't really be as outspoken on certain things as you are. I picked those papers up and I threw them in the trash can that was sitting right there. And that was when I decided that I probably truly did not want anything to do with politics, because if you're going to put a choker on me or a leash on me as to what I can do to try to help people, I don't want nothing
It's
to do
not
with
for
it.
me. Exactly. You're exactly. But that's that's where we are today. That's exactly
It
where
is.
we are. I mean, oh well, you can't say that. Don't say that. This is the if you're gonna run on this platform, you gotta say this. You gotta no. If I can't speak my mind, no.
Exactly.
No. Well, you can't step on no toes. Why not? If the other person ain't doing their job, why not?
Well, hopefully Riverside's able to fix this. It looks like my partner in crime's video has froze here. I don't know if he can hear me or not, but
Yeah.
if you can hear me, just go ahead and leave the studio and come back in. You're froze up.
Oh, really?
So while
Yeah,
we were
'cause-
talking about that, there was some things. You shoot him a quick message real fast. There you are. You've been froze for about the last 15 seconds.
yeah, when you said that, I was like, huh?
Yeah, I was going down my own little rabbit hole here. So, yeah, the politics side of things were, I think we're both pretty level headed and on the same page there. But something I can tell you that I know we're not going to be on the same page about is kind of where we ended our show last week.
Oh my God, here we go.
Now, I am going to say this before we get started down this rabbit hole in this tangent.
Well, he froze up. He said I froze up.
I just want you to know that the opinions expressed here by me are only my opinions. They are not Vic's opinions or anybody else's. They are only my opinions. Vic will interject his opinion.
Wait a minute.
What's the matter?
I've got some. Yeah, you froze up and then I froze up. All right, here we go. Are you there? Yeah, you froze up and then you. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, I'm ready.
This is the miracles of modern day broadcasting. And folks, I promise you, whatever is going on with the video, the audio, you're going to see it because we are 100% real. I don't sit here and edit a bunch of stuff out. Why? Because it's real life. This is what happens. Exactly. You can watch all the polished, shined up podcasts and shows you want, but we're going to give it to you 100% real. So, as I was saying before I started, that's it. So, as I was saying before I froze up, or he froze up, somebody froze up, these are my opinions only. They are not Vic's opinions. Vic will express his opinion when he wants to. By no means am I going to force him to comment on anything that I'm going to bring up, that I'm going to say, because this is 100% me. So let's try that. Oh my goodness.
What'd you do?
All right. This is horrible.
What are you doing over
I can't make it turn off. Oh boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, you getting this live. Live.
Yeah.
No filters.
Yeah, I'm not real sure how to fix this.
What's going on?
There we go. My stupid soundboard here apparently decided it liked it when I sounded like the devil and left it there. All right. So here we go. Down this rabbit hole. Folks, this is going to turn into probably one of the greatest tangents you're going to hear this week.
I guarantee it.
So last week, as we were closing out, Vic started talking about AJ Styles' son. What's his name?
Avery
Avery. Yeah.
Styles. Yeah.
Who is in process of breaking into professional wrestling, and he's working the indies right now, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So what we kind of left it on was, in my opinion, the special treatment this kid's getting because his dad was a superstar. Doesn't have to set up the ring, doesn't have to sell tickets, doesn't have to this, doesn't have to that. Why? Because his dad is a name. Now, this is, again, my opinion. All right. If you truly love the sport of professional wrestling and you want to make a career out of it, you got to pay your dues. Not your daddy paying your dues for you. You got to pay your own dues. You will get a lot more respect down the road paying your dues than you would dropping your dad's name everywhere you're going to get on that card. Now, I did some research and I found a video. I'm not going to play it here because we'll get a copyright strike, but I'm going to talk about it and then I'm going to let you say your piece. So this Avery gets booked in his first professional match, right? Wouldn't you know that the referee of that match was his dad? My opinion, they brought his dad in to sell tickets to make it look like this kid was over. He did all his dad's moves. The entrance was very, very similar. You got to pay those dues. Vic, what you got? I know you got something to say. So go ahead and I'll sit here and listen like you did for me.
Okay. I know the show that you're talking about. That was his very first debut. Yes, AJ was the referee of that match. Yes, I'm sure that they booked it that way to put asses in the seats. Do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it. If your son's going to do this, he needs to do it on his own. He's already going to face an uphill challenge because of his last name, Styles. I mean, he's already going to face. People's going to be jealous of him. They're going to be jealous of him because of his pedigree. Now, my thing is, a lot of the guys are mad because that they're not getting the rub off of it. They're thinking because he's at their show, he should, they should get the rub off of it. It don't work that way. And I'm sure they've asked him, hey brother, will you watch my match so you can send it to your dad so he can critique it? That's not his job. He's there to hone his skills. He's there to work. He's not there to watch your match and, tell his dad to watch it. That's not what he's there for. Now, yes, after I had my tangent the last show, yeah, he should pay his dues. I mean, after we talked, I got to thinking about it. Yeah, he's got to pay his dues. It's only right. I mean, but once again, if the promoter books him, they're booking him because people are going to buy tickets to see the son of AJ Styles. So the promoters are pimp and they're whoring him out because he's doing shows that probably don't even draw a couple hundred people. You put Avery Styles on the card, on the marquee, you're going to sell another 100 tickets.
But now, are they going to sell those tickets because the marquee says Avery Styles, or are they going to sell those tickets because his dad might show up?
They're going to sell those tickets because just they're thinking that AJ's going to show up. And then he don't, that's when everybody gets butthurt. Look, I had a kid contact me because I'm running a show here in Kentucky, and he asked me, he said, "You know what my dream match is?" I'm like, "Oh my God, really? You gonna hit me with the dream match scenario?" He said, "My dream match is with Avery Styles. That way AJ can watch my match." And I had to break his heart. I said, "Look, Avery is not going to come to Kentucky and work my show. I know people that knows AJ. He is not going to come and work my show. He's going to work shows in the Atlanta area, and he's going to go to the East Coast, and he's probably going to go to the West Coast and the South Coast. He's not going to come up to Podunk, Kentucky, and risk working a mark that wants to have a dream match. How can it be a dream match? Your dream match should be with AJ Styles, not his freaking son. I mean, that would be like me saying, "Oh, you know what my dream match is? What's that?" To work Brian Christopher. That's not a dream match. Why wouldn't I step up and go higher? Why wouldn't I go for his dad? I mean, I don't, like I said, I had that tangent. Yes, he should pay his dues, but you also don't know what kind of stipulations the promoter put on it. You don't have to set the ring up. We're going to put you up in a hotel. We're going to come and get you at will call time. You come, you do the meet and greet, then you work your match, you get paid, and we taking you back to the hotel, and then we'll come and get you the next morning and take you to your flight if he flew in. So he's going to get unnecessary heat. He's going to get it. And just because of who he is, and you going, and there's haters out there. Terry, you know this. There's haters out there.
Sure, there are. There's haters out there. But on the flip side of that, your actions can influence that. I mean,
Yep.
hell, back in the day, Vic, I mean, you went a lot farther with the business than I did. But back in the day, when I was active in, in the little area, Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois, there were shows that I went to and I helped set the ring up. I wasn't even on the show, but I was talking with the promoter, and hell, I took heat in the locker room from a promoter over one of his referees calling off and not calling him, but telling me. And I know you know that story.
Yep. Yep.
But you know what? I sat there and I took it. I didn't say anything. I stayed respectful the whole time. And that man was not disrespectful towards me at all. So don't get that idea. But he was pissed because his referee knew I was going to be there, and he asked me to let that promoter know that he wasn't going to make it. Now, hindsight being 2020, I would have said, "No, Pillhead, you call him and tell him on your own."
Exactly.
But at that time, I was pretty green altogether there. But at that period of time, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going. I'll tell him for you because I knew I was going to be there early, and I knew, you know, that we were going to be sitting around talking, and that's what I did. Hindsight being 2020, never. I wouldn't do it again to save anybody. I was nope. You call that man and you let him know. But again, that was a very, very integral part and a learning process for me right there. He was mad, but he was kind of explaining things to me as
Yep.
he was being mad. It was kind of like a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
And I would have done anything in the world for that man. I showed up at a lot of his shows, wasn't booked on it, wasn't nothing. I just, because for the experience and the knowledge, because it was a very, very tight run,
Yep.
excellent company.
Yep.
And I learned so much from just sitting there and watching.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, shoot, I was in the locker room with a lot of names just because of that guy. You know, and I learned you couldn't put a price on
No.
what I learned sitting in that locker room. You know, and he'd need a ring announcer every once in a while because his referee called off and his announcer would referee. So I'd ring announce for him. You know, and
That's all part of the business. That's
it.
That's what we do. I mean, I got in trouble. We was doing a fair show in Hardin County, and everybody left. Everybody just left. There was the promoter, and there was the security guard, and there was his wife. No, it wasn't his wife. It was his side piece. And everybody, I'm just calling it like it is. And they left. Well, I went and took my bag and put it in the car, and I come back, and I helped him tear down the ring. He looked at me, he said, "Ain't this a effing shame? My heavyweight champion is out here breaking down and loading up a ring." I said, "If I didn't come back and help you do this, you would be here till 1 o'clock in the morning trying to load this thing down. There's only 3 of you. You're not in no physical shape to carry these poles and everything. So yeah, I don't care." But he let it be known that the next night that he said, "I want everybody to know that my heavyweight champion come back and help me tear down the ring and load the ring up, while the rest of you know what, just took off and left." His son even took off and left.
Mm.
So, like I said, it's part of the business. When I ran shows myself, I set up the ring. I tore down the ring. I set up the chairs because it's my show. If nobody's there to help, I'm going to set the show up. That's what we do. Now, back to the whole Avery Styles thing. You know, be one of the boys. Don't be a prodigy. Be one of the boys. Go out there, help take down the chairs. Because you know he's set up a ring. You know he's had to set up a ring. Be one of the boys. Go out there, help him tear the chairs down, take the chairs down. If you don't want to help tear down the ring, help with other things. Just don't be that prodigy or that guy that has the big head. I've never met the guy, the young man, but if he thinks that his woes is now, it's just beginning. Wait till he takes somebody's job.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till he takes somebody's job that's been there for years and has got more experience, because he's AJ Styles' son.
That's only gonna carry you so far. Because if you're not one of the boys, then you're just an outsider.
Yeah.
Now I can tell you every locker room I have ever been in, as soon as you walk through that door and you're in
You
there,
shake everybody's
you're
hand.
shaking hands.
Yep.
You are greeting everybody, whether it's me, whether it was, God rest his soul, Tracy Smothers,
Yep.
Rob Conway we've been in locker rooms with.
Yep.
Those guys, if anybody could be the snob, it would be one of those two. But guess
And they
what?
wasn't.
They're not. They were one of the first people to reach out, to shake hands and say, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, Tracy, the very first time I met him, stuck his hand out and I shook his hand and he said, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Tracy." And I said, "I know who you are, sir." You know, same thing with Rob Conway. It's just you either are or you're not, and I don't care if it's backwoods, lost in the woods, Kentucky. You know where I'm talking about.
Yeah, buddy. Wow.
We shook hands. Everybody there. There were people there that I'd never heard of and I'd never seen again. But guess what? They were still there. They were putting the effort forth, and they get the respect. You
Yep.
shake hands. You introduce yourself. You shake hands. Even if you've met that person 50 times,
You still walk up
you
and shake that
still
hand.
do it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, there's guys that I may not have seen in a couple years. Take a Ricky Morton. If there's Ricky Morton's in the locker room, "Hey, Ricky, how you doing?" "Oh, brother, let me tell you a joke." And it's that's just what you do. I mean, that's what I was taught. That's what you was taught. You've got to be part of the boys. If you're not part of the boys, you will not last in this business. I don't care who your dad is. I mean, I don't care who your dad is. You have got to earn the respect of your peers. Yeah, a lot of the guys on the shows that he's working on, they can't work. But you can't sit there and tell them, "You're the drizzling shits." You can't tell them that. Only thing that you can do is say, tighten up on this, do this a little bit, da 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 da. That way, then the heat will come off of you and be like, "Okay, that now I get it." That's the thing. He's got to sink before he can rise up to the top.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the bottom, because we all had to. We all had to.
You gotta have a stinker before you have a showstopper.
Exactly. And believe you me, I've had more stinkers than I've had showstoppers. But that's nature. That's the nature of the business. You can't come in as a prodigy. "Oh, wow, AJ." And I'm not saying that he does that, but that aura, when he walks in, it's like, who does this guy think he is? I don't give a damn if he's AJ Styles' son. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to work just as hard. To me, if he's sitting in the locker room, it's time for you to step up your game. That's what I was always told. If there's somebody there that does pretty much the same thing that you do, you go out there and you step up your game and then make him follow you. Don't be bitter because he's there because of who he is. That is your opportunity to shine. That is your opportunity to show, something. You may be, you're only here for one show. I'm here every month or every other week. You have to put in that effort to work your ass off. Don't worry about what he's going to do.
No, and in the the real professional, the real worker out of the bunch, knows the difference between stepping your game up and being a showboat. There is nothing that I hated to see more than, and it didn't happen often because those guys were usually put in with top names when they came. But every once in a while, you'd get a name that had come to a card, and they'd put him in with Mr. Up and Comer, and that kid would do nothing but showboat the whole time, to where I just wanted to go out and grab him and throw him out of the ring and just stop the match.
Exactly.
Because if you're gonna be a jackass in front of somebody who has paid their dues and made it, you're in the wrong business.
Yep.
You are completely in the wrong business. And there's guys that we, and I'm sure you have too, that we've met down the road, whatever, that have made it, that are just inconsolable jackasses.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, fine. I'm getting what I'm paying for here, because they're going to go out there and they're going to work a match. Yeah, their personality sucks. Yeah, they think they're better than everybody else, but they're still going to go out there and do their job. There is no concern about that at all. So I can put up with it once you've earned that spot. But again, there are very few people that I've come across that are like that. There's some, but it's like that no matter where you go, right?
Funny story. I was in Irvine, Kentucky, way down in Kentucky. I was going to do a 2-match series with beautiful Bobby Eaton. I was like, oh my gosh. I've worked Tracy, I've worked Ricky, I've worked other names. This is beautiful Bobby Eaton. And he come up to me. I went up to him. I said, hey, sir, it's me and you tonight. He said, you ain't got to call me so. I'm Bobby. I'm one of the boys. And he said, get dressed and we'll see what the promoter wants. I said, oh, okay, cool. So Joe Rogers was the promoter. He says, look, I ain't gonna tell beautiful Bobby what he wants to do. Y'all figure it out. So he comes over to where I was sitting at. He pulls up a chair and says, all right, Vic, normally a name like this says, all right, kid, what do you want to do? He said, all right, Vic, what do you want to do? I said, I ain't calling nothing. Whatever you want to do, I'll follow your lead. He said, is there anything that you would like? I said, well, I would like the Alabama Jam. He looked at me and said, nope, the Alabama Jam is closed. and he said, and he laughed, and I laughed with him. He said, we coming back in 3 weeks, so we'll just do something, and we'll just go from there. And I had this arrogant manager, and he was taken away from the match, and Bobby got so peeved. He said, let him do it one more time, and I'm going to take him out. I'm like, so he gives me a bump, and I roll out, and I tell him, I said, dude, you're taken away from the match. Stay in one spot. If not, Bobby's going to take you out. Well, he didn't listen. The next thing you know, Bobby gave me a neck breaker. He said, stay there. I said, okay. He went out there and he gave that manager one of the stiffest kicks to the face that I've ever seen. And he rolled back here and he says, all right, let's go into our finish. I'm like, and the finish, and I had to do the finish since he done knocked the manager out. So I pulled out the invisible knuckle dusters and hit him and got disqualified. And so I went out of the ring. The manager listened and said, well, what did you do that for? I gave you the warning that he was going to, he said, if you didn't do what I asked you to, he was going to take you out. He took you out. So, I mean, once again, I know that's everybody's different. There's no more beautiful Bobbies. There's no more Tracy Smothers. There's no more Jimmy Valiants that you can set and learn under. But be one of the boys. You've got to. I don't care. Forget that your last name is Styles. I know it's hard. Be one of the boys. You've got to be one of the boys. That's the only way that you're going to get accepted into this business. I mean, yeah, AJ Styles is a big name, but think about all the other guys whose families laid the pathway to him. They didn't get it easy. Look at the Samoans. Do you think Roman had it easy? They was about ready to fire Roman because he sucked. The Usos. Do you think they had it easy? No. Look at David Flair. Just because that he was Ric Flair's son didn't mean that he was going to be as great as Ric Flair. Charlotte, God love her, she's not her dad. And I mean,
Nope.
that list goes on and on and on and on. You have got to be level-headed in the business of professional wrestling because you may be up and next minute you're down. They always said, be nice to the people going up because when you start to decline, those same people that you poo-pooed on are the same people that's going to look you in the eye and say, we knew you was going to be a bust.
Yep.
We knew you was going to be a bust. You was living off your dad's name, or you was living off this. You was doing this. You was doing that. Those very same people are the ones that you got to put your head down and say, I should have been one of the boys.
Mhm.
And I'm surprised AJ ain't told him that. I mean, you would think he knows how this business is. You have got to be one of the boys. You just can't be AJ's son. You can't be Avery Styles, the son of AJ Styles. You have got to be your own person.
Well, and let's hope that's coming. Maybe Dad was just trying to get him set up and get his foot in the right way with the right people, and maybe moving forward he's going to take the back seat and actually be retired and not show up to put his kid over and let his kid earn it. I don't know. It's one of those things. There have been 50 other Avery Styles. When you go through the business, I mean, you rattled off a couple: David Flair, Charlotte. The big one that you missed, who really I think got poo-pooed on the most out of anybody, was Shane McMahon.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about Shane O'Mac. Yeah,
that guy had more talent in his pinky finger than 3/4 of that roster does now.
Oh, yeah. Charisma, he had it all.
But because he was way more over than his dad,
they held him down.
Dad put the poo-poo on him.
Yep.
That I'd mark out to him too. I don't even care. I'd see him show up on a pay-per-view and I'd be like, oh boy, what are we going to do now?
Exactly. He made everybody step up their game. The match after him, like, oh my God, look what he just did. We're going to have to go out there and forget everything that we called. We're going to have to do something completely different because
we got to follow that.
Exactly. Yes.
It's a pretty fickle business when you make it to the top like that. And I don't even know if I'd consider WWE the top anymore, but
no,
it's still out there as the top. But
that's where everybody wants to go. I mean, you got AEW. I mean, I'm not gonna. That's a whole nother tangent in itself. Right. You got TNA, but everybody's goal is to get on WWE TV because 1, you get all the exposure. 2, all the movie deals is going to come your way. I just seen where Rhea Ripley is going to star in, I think, the final chapter of Terrifier.
Yep.
So all the movie scripts are headed to WWE. They're not heading to AEW. They're not heading to TNA. They're going to the global giant. I mean, and that's
Right.
I mean,
So
it's going to be that way until somebody can knock them off that pedestal. And right now, there's nobody out there.
no, so I guess it would be fair to say that if you want to be a movie star, then you better set your sights on WWE. If you want to be a professional
Yeah.
wrestler, then you probably need to look at one of the others.
You need to look at TNA.
My opinion. You know,
Yeah,
I've written
yeah. If you want
for
to, if you're strictly wanting to be a wrestler that goes out there and wrestles, you want to go to TNA. Like you said, if you're looking for the prestige, the movie chances, and all of that, you go to WWE. Look, Roman's done been in 3 movies. He was in a
Mhm.
movie with CM Punk. He was in a movie with Dwayne Johnson, one of the Fast and Furious movies. And now he's in Street Fighter with Cody. And they're still shoving movie scripts towards you. I mean, that's whether you like it or not, you go there and you get the movie scripts. You don't see nobody on AEW getting the high profile, showcasing soft drinks, showcasing Pop Tarts. Are you freaking kidding me? Or I mean, Minute Maid. I bet Minute Maid has made a mint off of Rhea Ripley, Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes.
Sure.
Slim Jims. LA Knight and Bianca. Before it was the Macho Man. Ooh, stepped into a Slim Jim. Yeah. Now you got LA Knight snapping into a Slim Jim going, yeah. And you can't find a Slim Jim in the store.
Oh, so here comes my take on this, and I'm not sure which way this is going to go, but we're going to find out.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
So unless you're lucky enough to land one of those movie deals, and folks, there's not 6,000 movie deals a year that go on. Those are pretty limited. I am comfortable in saying that. So a lot of those folks go to WWE just to hone their craft and learn how to get over. And then they go to where it's at, be it TNA, AEW, or one of those places. What do you think?
No, it's the other way around. For instance, okay, here's the prime example. 2 prime examples. Matt Cardona. He was over in WWE, but they wouldn't use him. They fired him, and he went out and made himself a bigger name, working the indies, working TNA, working the indies, and becoming this. I don't want LA Knight to get mad at us, but he become this megastar. The people, the fans, started chanting, Matt Cardona, Matt Cardona, Matt Cardona. So they had to give him a contract. They brought him back. They're still not using him, but he's over with the fans. Because why? He left the machine, which is WWE, and went out and made a name for himself. The second example, Karrion Kross. And, I loved that Karrion Kross was there on WWE, but they let him go. He went to Major League Wrestling, MLW, and he is a freaking star. How long will it be before they say, okay, now we can do something with it? Before, we didn't know what to do with it. Before, we didn't know what to do with it. Now, let's bring him back, and we've already got a plan for it. Baron Corbin. He's been gone for what, 3 years or more?
Yeah.
Went to MLW, blew it up. Been to Japan, blew it up. Then here, blew it up. Guess what? They brought him back, and he's over. So sometimes you have to leave the machine to go get better. That's what Cody did. Think about it. Cody left. He went to TNA. He traveled and traveled. He become one of the EVPs of AEW, and then they started poo-pooing on him. What happened? Vince called him and said, "All right, son, it's time for you to come back home. Come back home." He's the biggest star, he's the biggest star that WWE has. And it gripes everybody's butt because, oh, well, what Cody, he did this, he did. But he is the guy that you're going to send to the Tonight Show or is going to go do the special events. He is the John Cena of our era.
But oh boy, here we go. But a lot of that, I attribute to his last name and who his dad was.
See, I'm going to argue that point. But go ahead.
When Dusty was alive and still doing his thing, it was Dustin getting the rub, getting the big push.
Yes.
I mean, who else have you seen all painted up in gold and lisping and everything else make it as big as he did with that Goldust character?
Yeah.
Right? And then what the hell did they come up with Cody? Right? A silver
Stardust.
Stardust.
Yeah,
that's
Stardust.
Yeah. And then Dustin went to AEW.
Yeah.
As kind of a brawler style gimmick kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Well, then next thing you know, Cody's back on WWE TV, and he's throwing more haymakers than you've seen him throw his entire career in 2 nights.
Yep.
I don't know, man. My brother, I gotta say, is the kid, yes, he is very talented. Is he as talented as they put him over to be? I don't think so. I think that last name elevated him to where he's at.
Okay.
My opinion.
All right. Okay, if you want to go down that rabbit hole, is Roman Reigns as good as what they portray him?
No.
Because of his heritage?
No, and oh boy. No, he's not. And my biggest gripe about that whole Roman Reigns character scenario, Joe himself, in order for him to stay over and stay in the people's vocabulary.
Yeah.
It's been 2 or 3, 4 years ago now. I can't remember exactly how long. He got on national TV and said, I got to take some time off because my leukemia is back.
Yep.
Well, you know what? I am so sorry that you're sick. I truly am. But, brother, you're not the only one in this world that's fighting something like that. There's people fighting so much worse than what you have it.
Exactly.
And I just think they exploited that. And that really soured me to that character, to that person. Now, I don't know. I highly doubt he wrote his own promo, because everything there is written for you now. But with as over as he was, and as big a name as he was, he could have said, I ain't saying that. I'm not doing that.
Exactly. I agree with you.
But he didn't. I don't know. The Usos and the rest of the Anoys, hey, great talent. Great
Yes.
talent.
It's in their blood.
You're never absolutely those
Literally, the
Samoans.
bloodline.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You are never bored when those guys are on.
No.
But you had, I don't know, that whole thing just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And yeah, I'm living in the past and yada, whatever all you people are going to say. And that's fine. Here comes my heel turn. No matter what you're going to say, that's what I believe. I don't care who's paying you, how much money you're making, whatever. You still are in control of your character.
Yep.
Your personal character, your demeanor, your whatnot. The character you play on TV, you may or may not have much control over that. However, as a person, as Joe, him standing there saying those things,
yeah,
that was him. That wasn't Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
You have 100% control over that. I'm not shooting on the guy. I be honest with you, I could care less one way or the other what he does with the business, but I just think that was pretty poor taste how they did that.
Oh, no, I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, so yeah. So, like you said, it's the wrestling business has always been the what have you done for me lately business. What have you done for me to where you get a shot? Or what have you done to earn what you're getting? And I mean, and I'm not just talking about WWE. I'm not talking about AEW. I'm not talking about TNA. I'm talking about the indies also. There's a lot of indie promotions that rape young talent by telling them, well, if I'm getting ready to put a belt on you, but you can't go over there and do a job. Wait a minute. If you're not in the same town, what difference does it make if you go over and put somebody over or give somebody the rub? That was always one of the rules Danny said. If you work in a town that we're going to be running within the next month or so, do not do nothing to make yourself look stupid because you're my draw. And I would always go in and tell the promoter, look, out of respect, what do you got in mind? Well, I was thinking about you doing da. I said, all right, here, what about if we do this? Because I'm Danny's champion. And we're going to be running, 2 months, close to this area. So what about if I'll put I'll give the guy a good match. I'll let him do all of his stuff. But in the end, I'm going to get disqualified. If the promoter is a real promoter, he'll be like, that's great, Vic. Just do that. Now, you got some promoters out there now that dangles a belt in front of people. Well, if you do this, screw you. Pay me. That's all I want. Get payment. I don't give a damn about no belt. That just means I have to stay long.
Right. Here's going back. Let's start from the beginning of your tangent there. Let's start. All right. So they don't want you. They don't want you to go someplace that they're running.
Yeah.
Or someplace that they could run.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, folks, newsflash for you. It's called independent for a reason.
Thank you.
Now, you want to give me a contract?
Yep.
And you want to guarantee me whatever money we come up with? Okay.
I won't go to that town.
But as long as I'm wolfpacking it and I'm flying solo and I am independent, brother, I'm going where I'm going to make money.
Yeah.
Now, Danny, that's kind of a different story there a little bit, because in the time frame you're talking about, I know that was the training grounds and the up and coming for the Fed, for the WWF, WWE.
Yeah.
That part of it, yes, I can understand. I can understand that. And I've heard you tell these stories before. It wasn't just a flat out no with him. It was, well, we're going to be running there in 2 weeks or in a month.
Yeah.
And I get it, because there was always that opportunity for that phone to ring and Bruce or Vince or JR, whoever be on the other end saying, hey, send him up to wherever, because we can use him. So you don't want to look like a complete flop somewhere that you very well may be going to in a month, in 6 months. Wrestling fans are very, very fickle.
Yes, they are.
Do not forget. They do not forget. If they seen if they seen you in Indianapolis getting squashed by Joe the Midget, and then the next night you're in Minneapolis for AEW fighting whoever their TV champ or whatever the heck they got going on over there is, well, folks are going to know that, and they're going to remember that, and they're going to be like, there ain't no way this guy carried that.
Exactly.
So I see that point of it from Danny's point of view, the old OVW, and I think everybody that worked there probably understood that as well, because that was probably one of the main reasons they were there.
Yeah,
was for that potential exposure.
Yeah. And it also happened to me with the NWA too, when I worked with a couple of the affiliates there. Bert had put the tag titles on me and Corey. And he's like, there's a lot of companies down here that's going to want y'all to come in and work and put it's Mike Cersei, my bad. But Bert did the same thing. It was Mike Cersei, and he said, there's going to be a lot of guys that's going to want y'all to come in, blah, 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 to boost their show. Look, y'all represent the NWA, not Billy Corgan's NWA, the old school NWA, your ambassadors. So go and work that show, but remember who's paying you.
Right. And that truly, my story of that is a little bit more devious, but I got brought in with the AWA to one of their smaller territories that they'd sold the name to in southern Indiana. And I was working there every week, every night, or it was a weekend, Saturday. No, it wasn't either. It was Friday night. And I'd go every Friday night, and I'd do whatever was asking me and whatever. And then that fraud, Dale Gagne, who that's not even his name, shows up, and I say fraud, and I swear to God, send me a cease and desist to tell me I'm wrong. You're a fraud.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are good for saying cease and desist around this place. Go ahead.
Right. Because I'm telling you, it's the truth, and I wouldn't say it if it wasn't. But if you want to argue that fact, send it to me. Anyhow, that fraud shows up and says, oh yeah, we've been seeing this and we've been seeing that, and you keep helping get this off the ground here, and then we're gonna move on to bigger things. Okay. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. It's it's a recognizable three initials.
AWA.
So I keep going. Things are getting better. We went from a house of, I don't know, 50 to 75 to, I don't know, it was 150, 200. And then all of a sudden, the folks that were part of the program stopped showing up on time and started showing up 10 minutes before 10 minutes before bell, 10 minutes before the main event.
Wow.
And the promoter there was just as big a weasel and scumbag as Dale Gagne is.
Weasel.
Yeah. And that's being nice just because I don't want to get flagged. All of a sudden, we're having money problems. We're having money problems. I said, what are we having money problems with? I said, this place is fuller than it's ever been. I said, you sure as hell haven't spent money on a ring or lights or recording PA. What do you mean? Oh, well, there's some things going on and blah, blah, blah. I said, all right. I said, you can catch me next week and make up for it.
Ooh. Dum, 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 dum.
So the next week I showed up. Oh, yeah, it's great. Everything's good. Well, it got time at the end of the night when you get your paycheck. And I noticed that little weasel rat running around pretty quickly.
Weasel rat.
And he went to his main event guy, did not go see that opponent, and he went to his big fat ass tag team champs.
Ooh.
And then out the front door he went.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, well, hold on here just a minute. And I took off after him because now you owe me 2 weeks. Well, I almost got run over in the parking lot by him trying to get out of there. So I said, okay. Now I'm still at this point trying to remain semi-professional. So I got a hold of one of the other guys that I knew very well that worked there. And I said, hey, this is what's going on. I'm going to call Dale tomorrow. And we're going to figure this out. All right, brother. You call him, and we're behind you. We got you.
Way behind.
So the phone number that Dale Gagne spread all over the United States, when you call it, you got doo doo doo. We're sorry, the number you're calling is not in service at this time. Okay, so every once in a while somebody forgets to pay their phone bill. I understand. I'll call tomorrow. It'll be back on. That phone number still ain't on. And that was after this all happened about 3 weeks before Greg Gagne and the rest of the family hauled that sorry son of a gun into court over illegally using their name.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because you was talking about breaking me up.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Count your blessings. Count your blessings. So you know who you are. I am not going to say your name because I refuse to promote you at all. It's bad enough I said AWA.
Yeah.
I truly hope you get what's coming to you out of this life. Granted, it wasn't much money you owed me, but you saw me 3 times after that at 2 different shows that you weren't even on that you could have made right on that money.
Wow, that's bad.
And all you did was see me sitting there and turned around and walked out the door.
Yeah,
I wasn't the only one that saw it. So I hope you truly get what you've got coming to you in this life.
I don't know who you are, but you're a piece of crap. That's what's wrong with the
you know who it is.
Oh,
I'll tell you later. You know who it is.
You're a piece of crap. And, if you got a problem with me, all you got to do is just, I'm not hard to find. But that's why the business is in the shape that it is, because of piece of craps like you. Gee, don't get me started on that. Woo! That's the reason why.
So, anyways, yeah, we'll leave it there with that. Professional wrestling, folks, is what you make of it.
Yep.
But you do not trust anybody but yourself there.
Oh, exactly.
Be kind, be nice, be professional. But at the end of the day, you are the only one you can trust there.
Yep.
You will form friendships. Absolutely, you will. And 90% of those are real friendships.
Yep.
But protect yourself and watch out for yourself, because I have 3 people that are in that business, you being one of them, that I know it doesn't matter, will have my back and watch all day, every day. Now that's out of the thousands of people that I've rubbed elbows with in that business. 3 people. So
I got 3 and you're one of them. I mean, really. I mean, it's always, it's, who was it that told me? Oh, it was Tracy. He said, Vic, in this business, you'll be able to count your friends on one hand. Now, you'll have those friends, but then you'll have a slew of acquaintances. Those acquaintances, those are the ones that will stab you in the back at the blink of an eye. And I've got a lot of acquaintances.
Yep.
A lot.
Everybody
I
you
don't
meet.
trust them as far as I can throw them.
Nope. Everybody you meet is not your friend.
No. Especially in the wrestling business.
That is a jagged, bitter pill that a lot of folks have had to swallow over the course of time. But just hope that you learn from that, and you continue to carry yourself as you withhold your morals, your scruples, and you kind of hope for the best.
Before we close, you'll like this. I was working for this one company, and the promoter come up to me at the end of the show and says, you know something? We don't know nothing about you. What do you mean? Well, we don't know where you live, or you don't need to know that. Well, what if we need to get in touch with you? You got my phone number. Well, what if we need to come? No, you don't need to come to where I live. There's a reason why I call it the Batcave, because nobody knows where I live at, and that's where it's going to stay.
Absolutely.
Well, we don't, are you married? I said, you see a wedding band on my hand? No, I'm not married. Why is this important? You're paying me to come and entertain your fans. You're not paying. I'm not here to ask 50 questions about what I do when I'm not in the ring. It's none of your business. I don't ask you what you do. So what makes you think that you have the right to ask me, well, I'd like to know more about you. Well, people in hell like ice water, but they ain't getting it. I mean, why would you ask somebody, what can you tell me about yourself? Oh, I've already got the job, so I ain't sitting there doing no interview now.
No, and you of all people, I've said it, and you of all people can definitely say it when you're around a wrestling deal. I've said it to several people. Listen, I've been doing this a long time, and I'll be damned if I'm going to take an interview right now.
Yeah. Interview.
I didn't call you. You called me.
You begged me to come. Vic, I need Victor Bruiser. I need Victor Bruiser. You can turn my company around. You can turn my company around. I said, okay. Yeah.
You need me so bad. There's 3 things you need to know. You need to know my work name, my work city, and how much you're paying me.
That's it.
That's all you need to know about me.
That's all. He even tried to set me up with a rat to try to get information out of me.
That's going to be another tangent
That's a shoot right there.
that's going to be another topic, and I was going to get into it when we were doing it today, but it's going to have to be for another time, another episode, and that's the rat girlfriends in the locker room.
Give him some cheese.
You tuned in now. Lock it in tight. Two
Folks,
voices
thanks
up,
for
all
listening
gas
to this episode of Tangent Central.
Vicious Vic.
TangentTroops@gmail.com is our email address. Shoot us a line. Still looking for a social media manager. Other than that, everybody have a great rest of the week, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Peace.